Ladies and gentlemen, gather round because we have a story from the world of NFL that's got more drama than a reality TV show. Picture this. A hit that could have been taken out of a WWE match. A quarterback knocked out cold. And a brawl that could rival the best bar fights. Oh, and did we mention a 3-game suspension for one very unlucky linebacker? Welcome to the tale of Azeez Al-Shaair, the Houston Texans linebacker who recently made a headline-grabbing move that didn't exactly win him any sportsmanship awards. The hit that rocked the NFL. Let's set the stage. It's Sunday, and the Texans are facing off against the Jacksonville Jaguars in a game that's, let's be honest, probably not making it to the top of any highlight reels. But then, right out of nowhere, a hit happens that'll make you sit up straight in your chair. It's the second quarter. Houston leads 6-0. And Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville's prized quarterback, is doing what he does best, scrambling. But as he slides toward the ground, here comes Azeez Al-Shaair, who apparently missed the memo on playing safe. Without warning, Al-Shaair launches himself, diving headfirst into Lawrence's head. Yes, you read that right, a headshot. And while we've all seen tough hits in football, this one was dangerously reckless. Lawrence, understandably, doesn't get back up. He's down for the count. And the crowd? Well, they're just as stunned as we are. The officials throw the flag immediately. And just like that, Al-Shaair's NFL future starts to unravel. A brawl that's almost too much to handle. Now, you'd think that would be the end of the chaos. But no, this is football, my friends, and things are about to escalate in true NFL fashion. Enter stage left, Evan Engram, the Jaguars tight end, who's not about to let one of his own take a hit like that without some consequences. Engram rushes in, shoves Al-Shaair to the ground, and suddenly, the floodgates open. Players from both teams rush to the scene. And before you know it, a full-blown brawl has broken out. It's not just a scuffle, it's like watching a mosh pit at a concert. Everyone's piling in, and it's clear that no one's going home happy. And of course, Al-Shaair isn't exactly de-escalating things. In fact, he pulls a face mask, because why not make things even messier? Right? The fight spills over, and Al-Shaair and his teammates are surrounded by a swarm of Jaguars players on the sideline. Referees are doing their best to break it up, but this one's a real showstopper. And guess what? Both Al-Shaair and Jaguars cornerback Jarrian Jones are ejected. There's no turning back now. The NFL steps in, a 3-game suspension. Now, if you're an NFL player and you're caught up in a brawl like that, you're probably expecting some consequences. And trust me, Al-Shaair was about to get more than just a lecture from his coach. The NFL's Vice President of Football Operations, Jon Runyan, made it clear that Al-Shaair was going to pay the price. In a statement, Runyan announced that Al-Shaair would be suspended for 3 games. That's 3 weeks of sitting on the sidelines, watching his teammates fight it out without him. Runyan didn't pull any punches in his reasoning, either. He stated that Al-Shaair delivered a forceful blow to the head, neck area, when he had plenty of time to avoid the hit. The suspension also took into account Al-Shaair's involvement in escalating the brawl by pulling on face masks and continuing to fight with Jaguars players after the referee's ejection call. Talk about rubbing salt in the wound. But that wasn't all. Runyan also pointed out that this wasn't a one-time issue. Apparently, Al-Shaair has a bit of a history when it comes to personal fouls and sportsmanship violations. And when you've already made a name for yourself as a repeat offender, the NFL doesn't exactly take it lightly. Runyan didn't mince words when he said Al-Shaair's actions were troubling and do not reflect the core values of the NFL. Yikes, that's a harsh verdict. Can Al-Shaair bounce back? The appeal process. Of course, Al-Shaair isn't just going to take this sitting down. The linebacker has appealed the suspension. And this is where things get interesting. His appeal will be heard by one of the NFL's appointed appeals officers. And here's where we start playing a little game of, who's the judge? The options? Derek Brooks, Ramon Foster, Kevin Mawe, or Jordy Nelson. So, yeah, the appeal's in good hands, whether Al-Shaair likes it or not. Will the suspension get reduced? Or is Al-Shaair going to be sitting on the sidelines for the next 3 weeks? Wondering what might have been? Only time will tell. But it's clear that the NFL is sending a strong message. Mess with the rules. And you'll pay the price. A look at Al-Shaair's past missteps. It's also worth noting that this isn't exactly Al-Shaair's first rodeo when it comes to breaking the rules. Earlier this season, in Week 2 against the Bears, Al-Shaair got himself into another bit of a scrape. During the sideline altercation, he punched Chicago's Roshan Johnson in the face mask. Now, you'd think a punch like that would draw a penalty. But nope, no flag was thrown during the game. However, the NFL didn't let that one slide, and Al-Shaair ended up with an $11 fine for his actions. And just like that, the linebacker's reputation started to look a little, let's say, colorful. The bigger picture. What does this mean for Al-Shaair and the NFL? Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. Al-Shaair's suspension is a stark reminder of the NFL's commitment to player safety. It's not just about making highlight reel plays, it's about playing the game responsibly. The NFL has been under intense scrutiny in recent years regarding player safety, especially when it comes to concussions and violent hits. And while hard hits are a part of the game, there's a fine line between playing tough and playing dangerously. So, what does this mean for the rest of the league? It sends a clear message. If you're going to play aggressively, you'd better make sure you're not putting your opponents, or yourself, in harm's way. The NFL isn't afraid to dish out suspensions and fines to players who cross the line. And for Al-Shaair, this suspension might just be the wake-up call he needed to turn things around, at least. We hope so. Closing thoughts. A lesson learned? So, what do we take away from all this? First, we learned that Azeez Al-Shaair is capable of delivering some serious hits, both on the field and in terms of the drama department. Second, we see that the NFL isn't afraid to hand out suspensions when players step out of line, especially when it comes to player safety and sportsmanship. And lastly, let's not forget that in the world of football, anything can happen. One moment, you're making a game-winning play, and the next, you're sitting at home watching your team play without you. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button. Share this video with all your NFL-loving friends. And of course, subscribe for more. You won't want to miss what's coming next in the world of football, who knows? Maybe the next Brawl will have even more drama than this one. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe and stay competitive. Folks, hey there, football fans, buckle up, because we've got some NFL drama to talk about that had us all on the edge of our seats this weekend. From illegal hits to heated confrontations, Week 13 brought us the kind of action that only the NFL can deliver. So, let's dive into the jaw-dropping moment that left everyone talking, and trust us, it wasn't just about the game. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends because, oh boy, we've got some juicy stuff to unpack today. The hit heard round the league, Azeez Al-Shaair versus Trevor Lawrence. Alright, folks, here's where the story gets spicy. Sunday's game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and Houston Texans took a serious turn when Azeez Al-Shaair, linebacker for the Texans, decided that Trevor Lawrence wasn't just a quarterback, he was a human piñata. And unfortunately for Lawrence, Al-Shaair took a very wrong approach to tackling. It all went down with just a few minutes left before halftime. Lawrence had just run for a first down and, like any good quarterback trying to save his legs, was about to slide to the ground. Now, in case you didn't know, the NFL has this little rule, a rule that's been around longer than you can remember, that you don't hit a quarterback who's in the process of sliding. Why? Well, it's for their safety, of course. We all know Trevor Lawrence is a little too valuable for that. But guess who didn't get the memo? Yep, you guessed it, Azeez Al-Shaair. As Lawrence was sliding to end the play, Al-Shaair came in full speed ahead, forearm outstretched like a linebacker who's never heard of a pull-up. The impact was brutal. Lawrence's head snapped back, bouncing off the turf like a ping-pong ball on a bad bounce. Ouch. As you can imagine, this wasn't just a play that had Jacksonville fans fuming, it was a full-blown situation. The hit took place right in front of the Jaguars sideline, and as soon as Lawrence hit the ground, teammates flooded the field faster than you can say, flag on the play. Jaguars players swarmed Al-Shaair, furious that their quarterback was taken out of the game with what looked like a nasty head injury. But hold on, it didn't end there. Texans players rushed in, trying to defend their teammate. And suddenly, we had ourselves a full-on skirmish. Players were throwing hands, coaches were shouting,